Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Shadowrun walkthrough. The previous video we did a lot of Matrix stuff. I talked a lot about kind of like what I like to do as far as the Matrix, or or how little I actually enjoy the Matrix these days, maybe I should say. But hey, you know what? That's just the way it is. Alright, so we're actually going to do some, it looks like some storyline stuff. And I think the real reason, or the big reason for doing this, was I wanted to get in touch with like the top end Johnson of the game, and unfortunately you can't do that until you've visited the and I'm already forgetting the name of this inn, Tarlosalar City Inn or something like that. Anyways, we're in the Puyallup Barrens. Probably butchering all of these names, so my bad on that. But anyway, so here, basically just walk into the inn and ask about Tabitha Shale. I'm actually not sure on the relationship between Tabitha and our brother, our deceased brother, Michael. I don't know. I don't know that it's ever really made clear exactly the nature of their relationship. I don't know how important it is, but anyways, actually, I should say, so my impression was that she had been with Michael on runs before. That's my impression. But for whatever reason, she decided not to go. I shouldn't say not for whatever reason. It sounds like she didn't trust the specific Johnson that Michael was using for this recent run. So basically, she said, "Nope, I'm out. I'm not interested." And then obviously Michael is killed, and she's been holed up here essentially in this inn ever since. And so we go through a little bit of dialogue and maybe a little bit of coincidence here, but obviously somebody attacks. We duck for cover, but unfortunately Tabitha is killed here. So we go through her, I don't know, things, rummage through her stuff and find a hollow pix of David Owlfeather. Now, I'm actually not going to continue on with the story too much after this. I am going to speak with Caleb Brightmore, though, who I think that was the Johnson that set up the final run. And so we'll go actually have a chat with him. Here we've got so these are the tips and clues or whatever. Kind of gives you an idea of what to do as far as the storyline goes. So that's the one about Caleb Brightmore, and then Tabitha speculates that Boris Orozco was the last one to see Michael alive. Boris is the guy in Redmond Barrens that kind of hangs out in the greenhouse. We're actually going to go here, but I will say one thing. We're going to get jumped once again. And unfortunately, this time we'll actually have to fight. And these guys are absolutely nasty. So I would say, if you haven't upgraded your armor lately, do that. I don't know how well this goes for me. I vaguely remember getting torn up by these guys, but anyways, all right. So basically, we just walk into the greenhouse. Obviously, save beforehand, and ask him for information. And once you've paid him for the information, you don't ever have to pay him again. It's kind of like a one-time deal where I don't know, I think he charges you like 500 million or something like that. So here, this is, I don't know, we don't want to buy anything. So he's got some passports and a level 2 Magillock passkey. That's actually not worth it at all. There's actually the best Magillock passkey in the game, I think, is a level 5, and you can buy it for, I think it's 20,000. Yeah, there's the one-time fee for his information. And then you can ask him about Michael and David Owlfeather. Here he mentions that he bought some, high-powered weapons, lots of ammo, and a 4-wheeled truck. So, they were going on some mission out in the wilderness, and we'll learn a little bit more about that. Started a bird dog. That phrase seems really strange, or wording of that phrase. All right, his name was Mako Soshu. I don't know. He applied some pressure, but I didn't give up your brother, I swear. And we're starting back to reality as a Renraku strike team breaks into the greenhouse. They're aiming for Boris, who attempts to get cover. And there my two chicas get riggedy wrecked. And I took a couple of shots too, I think there. So yeah, this is where you have to be really careful. Obviously, we don't want to leave the area with the two, or our two fellow runners dead, because that would really mess up my game. But really, what you can do there, if you notice, they got stuck behind a wall, so I could have just ducked into a building and kind of despawned them if I wanted to, but we're not gonna do that. I'm unhappy about getting shredded, so I'm gonna have to take them down here. I think my two other runners are not as well equipped as my main character. Ooh, there we go. And he's here. I'm just trying to heal. And Rihanna is actually my biggest damage dealer right now, just because I think I've been building up her firearm stats, so she's actually packing quite a punch these days. I'm gonna do a little healing here. Again, unfortunately, the AI just doesn't do a really good job of controlling magic users. Which actually makes me question my choice of making the main character a shaman in the first place. I'm really leaning towards Decker right now as actually the best choice, but more for me because I like to use Freya. You know, had I not used Freya and maybe went with like a Winston instead, maybe I'd feel a little differently, or Phantom. But you know, those two have the issues, or I have issues with those two. So anyways, all right, so we're going to go talk with Boris again here, and Aragorn. What? Is that a Lord of the Rings reference? I'm not sure. I doubt it, but who knows? Who knows with these games? So anyways, you know, Boris does have a little bit of information about his brother. Apparently he was loyal, or at least that's what he's claiming. Although now it does look like, I mean, maybe it should be obvious now, but it looks like Renraku has some, they're regarding that last run, as some sort of, maybe they need to do a little cleanup, because now they're obviously, Tabitha's been killed, Boris has now been attacked. So, yeah, so there's a plot afoot, and we're going to need to learn more. But, all right, so we're going to head to downtown Seattle, and I'm actually going to go have a chat with Caleb. Now, again, Caleb is actually the top-end Johnson of the game, and you can get some, oops. Oh, yeah, I think I wanted to have some chats with the gangs, and actually I think I did go to the right place. So I realized now I've been traveling all over the place, and I haven't bought the orc arm patch yet, or join the orc gang, however you want to look at it, which I keep forgetting the name, or maybe they just don't have a name. I don't know. We'll see here. But anyways, all right, so the idea here is to talk with the orcs and get the orc patch, and the reason for that is once you've joined and got the orc patch, the taxi cab drivers will give you free rides, because all the taxi cab drivers are orcs. So, these are the orc gang. Yeah, they're just calling it the orc gang. You're not helping me here. I thought these guys legitimately had a name. Oh, wow, 2,000. So it's going to take quite a few taxi cab rides to pay that off, but that's fine. And then here, um, let's see, let's get the same. He asks you if you want to pay an extra $500 or 500 million to find out the secret of why the orcs give them free rides, and you can just say no, and he'll just say, "Oh, my bad. I should have known that I couldn't fool you." But the secret is just having the arm patch. And then I actually did get the contact there, Henry. I think it's Henry Culver, Henry J. Culver. I think is the contact name. So basically, every gang has a contact that you can get from them. Henry J. Culver is kind of neutral. And then the other two contacts are one from the Halloweeners, and that's the Yakuza contact. And then the I-5ers are the other contact. And the I-5ers have the Mafia contact. Once you've aligned with one of either the Mafia or the Yakuza, you can't join the other. So, I would say make sure that you're really sure on what you want to do. I'd say absolutely go with the Mafia if you don't want to spend a whole lot of time like grinding cash and stuff. Because there's a cheap way of you can go to the crime mall and buy the light. I think it's the light combat armor, and then just keep selling it back to the store, and you can just make infinite money that way. It's grindy, but it's actually a pretty. It might actually be the fastest way to make money in the game. So there's that. I don't go that route. I go with the Yakuza because they've got better equipment. I mean, straight up, there's just. You can't get. It's like the heaviest armor in the game the Yakuza can get you, and there's just no other way to get it. So, anyways, all right. This is Caleb Brightmore. Caleb here does admit that he was contracted to do or got contracted by someone else. We'll find that her name is Frosty, I think it is. And so yeah, here he says Frosty is the who took orders from someone else. So it was kind of a way to cover up the trail of, who essentially contracted this run. So we'll learn a little bit more about that a bit later. But anyways, here it does seem like Caleb isn't necessarily a bad guy, and you can actually get a contact from it. Looks like for 2,000 Nuyen. I don't remember who he has for the contact here. Maybe hopefully I get that. Oh, Sergeant Chillicott. Man, I don't remember if he's really useful or not. I guess at the end of the day, all the contacts in the game are fairly cheap, short of the Mafia or the Yakuza boss. So, I mean, honestly, 2,000 Nuyen for Sergeant Chillicott, that's completely fine. You might as well. But, anyways, I think here I tried to do some Matrix runs with him. Looks like this first one is a moderate. So, he'll offer you moderate or expert runs. The moderate looks like I was offered around 3,000 for that. I think here I didn't want to do that though. I think I wanted to try for an expert run. I think we'll see here. But he keeps offering me these other runs that I don't want to do. But here you can maybe it's obvious now, but he's really offering us some really good cash here. The Lone Star run is actually a really good way to farm karma. There's a cheap little way where what you can do is actually, unfortunately, he doesn't offer us very much for that. But what you can do is save outside of Lone Star and then walk in and interact with the safe. And basically, it's just a crazy fast way. And if you don't get whatever, like there's a package or something that you're trying to get out of the safe, if you don't get it in the first or in that first safe, you just reload your game and try again, because every time you try to go into Lone Star, basically the the safe that the item that you're looking for is in is randomly generated. And again, sometimes it just picks that first safe in the first room and get quick, 6 quick. I think it's 6 karma anyway. It's either 5 or 6, something like that. But that can be an insanely fast way of farming karma as well. And a little cheap, but hey, you know, whatever. At the end of the day, does it really matter how cheap it is to farm your karma at a certain point? I don't know. It's up to you, though. You don't have to do it, obviously. But anyways, all right, so always a good idea to save your game before you do a matrix run. This is weird. Okay, so I took a cut here in my video, and I'm not really sure. Oh, okay, I think what I wanted to do here was talk with all the different gangs. So hopefully that's exactly what I'm doing here. But basically, every time you talk with the doorman of each gang, he'll give you a little bit of information about the other 2 gangs, but it's not all that useful. I guess it kind of does tell you a little bit about what higher level gangs obviously the Halloweeners and the I5ers are aligned with. So here I'm gonna get some protection from their gang. I'll be honest, I don't know that this was, I mean, whatever, 4,000. So this is the I5er ear cuff. I don't know how much it really affects like your encounter rates and if they'll actually leave you alone or not. I actually kind of don't think that actually is the case, but whatever. But if you want to, actually, I don't know if you need to join their gang to get their contact information or to buy their contact. I'm not sure, but anyways, again, the I5ers are aligned with the Mafia, which the contact is Mr. Ferraducci. I think in order to actually contact them, I think your reputation needs to be 5 or higher. And that's the same with the Yakuza. So the Yakuza will go over here to Redmond Barons and just go down to the Halloweener hideout. I'll buy their whatever Halloweener patch, and then I'll pay the 10,000 to get their contact. Now I'll be honest though, I just paid the 10,000 for each contact just to have both of them. The problem is though, once you've joined one, you can't join the other one. So really, you can just save yourself 10,000 and not buy both contacts, because again, once you've bought the one contact, there isn't really a reason to have the other one. So I don't know. Again, that's my 2 cents. I'd say pick one. I'll be honest, I always recommend the Yakuza just because their actual rewards are just better, in my opinion anyway. Again, go ahead, join the Mafia if you just want the easier way to farm, cheap money. Because again, going through the crime mall and buying the light armor and then just selling it back immediately can just make you ridiculous amounts of money, in short periods of time. Basically, you don't have to worry about money or doing jobs for money for the rest of the game if you do that. But if you don't want to do that, again, join the Yakuza. Instead, you can buy the heavy combat armor, which is the best combat armor in the game. The other thing that you can do is you can buy it's called the Power Focus. I highly recommend it for your mages. It's extremely expensive, though. It's something like 80,000 nuyen. And it apparently increases the damage of your spells. I don't know. I've read in some places that the power focuses for the mages aren't all they're cracked up to be, which very well could be the case. But I always buy them because why not? I don't know. So I have to have everything. I got to catch them all. And so Boris there, or sorry, not Boris. That is Gunderson has a contact named Wilma. I think it's Wilma Tellenhoff or something like that. I'll be honest, she's a junk contact. I don't think she really has anything. Even I think she's got like two programs that you can buy from her, and I just don't think that they're good. I should say that I don't think they're good enough to even bother with, because she sells such low versions of those programs. So I would say skip those altogether. Yeah, Wilma Temmenhoff, I guess is her name. So actually, it looks like that's what the rest of this video is what I'm attempting to do here, is to just amass all of the contacts in the game. And I think we can actually get them all now. It looks like, so this is, gosh, is this Mortimer Reed, I think, is this guy's name? This is the Johnson out of the Big Rhino. Alessandro Hobbs. It isn't necessary to mention my name. What are you trying to say there, buddy? Anyways, let's see here. I don't know if maybe I'm going to try to take a job from him, but, oh, maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember actually what Alessandro Hobbs does for us. And that's the case with most of these contacts. You know, there's so many. Well, there's, what, maybe 15 contacts, something like that. Yeah, so they can be, I think, you know, the big ones like the Yakuza and the Mafia boss, that's usually pretty easy for me to remember. But some of these other ones, I just, you know, I kind of draw blank. So anyways, let's see. This is not the right place. I'm looking for, who am I looking for? Maybe Caleb. Am I in Penumbra or downtown Seattle? I forget. Yeah. We'll see here. Oh, yeah, that was Penumbra District. Oh, and Lone Star wants to have a word. I don't think I'm carrying anything illegal right now. Yeah, I'm just carrying pistols, I think. Yeah, so, and I mean, on top of that, I've got a 6 in charisma right now, if I'm remembering correctly. So, you know, fast talking out of those conversations should be fine. So this is, excuse me, Julius Struthers, and his contact is Captain Quentin James. If I remember correctly, he actually is a really good contact, especially if you want to buy the best SMG in the game. He's got a what is it, the HK 227 or something like that, and I think it's got the laser sight and like a, I don't know, a gas vent or something like that, and it's for only 1,000, so pretty good stuff. Caleb Brightmore here has another contact. I forgot. Does he have Chillicothe? I think that's who that was. I kind of missed the name there because I was ripping through the dialogue so fast. Yeah, Sergeant Chillicothe. So he's another one of the. There's actually like three guys that kind of like work with Lone Star or Hollywood. You know, they're kind of like policey types. And they've got a variety of different services for you. One of them can get you into Hollywood basically for free. Not for free, for pretty cheap. It's like maybe 1,000 or something like that. I think he gives you like some badges or something, which actually can be useful. There's a side quest later on to grab one of the runners, and so if you go with that route, you don't have to like break into Hollywood. You can just walk through the front door, go about your business, and then walk out. It's actually pretty smooth. So here is the doctor. So this is where you end up anyway if you get killed. That's the Seattle General Hospital right there. Apparently she knew Michael pretty well. She says something about Michael, you know, kind of, or like she said she knew him when he arrived, whatever, 3 years ago, something like that. But all right, so another contact here is Sharky. Sharky's amazing, and you actually get her through Captain Quentin James. God, she's one of the most useful contacts in the entire game because, and for 2 reasons. So, if you've got a police record at all, you won't be able to get into one of the zones, I guess, in the game, unless you use Sharky. You can just fly in, and then on top of that, she'll fly you all the way to like where the elves are at. I think it's called Sin Search, and That whole area is actually incredibly dangerous. It's one of the most dangerous areas in the entire game because there's hellhounds out there and Bandersnatch, and I think vampires are running around out there too. So it can be an incredibly difficult place to run around. So anyways, so you can skip all that by just having Sharky bring you right there. So again, she's incredibly useful. So here, I forget who we're talking to right now, but he gets you another contact. What was that, Sergeant Mackelman? So again, yet another, yeah, Mackelman. I think, was that Culver? I think that was Culver who we were talking to. Or maybe it was Jefferson. Huh. Oh, yeah, maybe that was this guy. My bad. Because it looks like that guy's got... Or Jesus, did they just use the same palette? Yeah, Gregory Williams. Okay, so this is a different guy. Jeez. So there's a couple of contacts that you can get through other contacts, which is pretty nice. I think actually, so one of these guys was, oh yeah. That guy right there actually might have been a contact that we made through Trent. Trent is in the Space Needle, and I got that like way earlier on in the game. So unfortunately, for this video, I wasn't able to show you that, but yeah, because I hired him and robbed him early on in the game. And then here is our last contact. Now, keep in mind, this is actually a missable contact because at a certain point in the game, this Johnson, which is, I think this is Vigor. Yeah, Vigor. And then, my friend here, you can call Charles. So anyways, this guy will leave eventually once you've completed some of the storyline. So again, make sure you grab his contact. I can't remember who this is. Wow, it's only $7.50 though. That might be the... God, is that the cheapest contact in the game? Huh. Yeah, very well could be. Fixer. Do you like his name? Oh, Max. Yeah, that's right. Max, I know, has an extremely overpriced Maglock passkey. It's the best one in the game, but I don't think it's... hopefully I don't have this wrong, but I think it's extremely expensive and not worth it to buy it from him. But anyways, I'm out of time, so as always, hope this guy... Thanks for watching.